So we are today here in the Thoughtworks office to have our first ever podcast for QA community. So here we will discuss the career paths, the current work area of expertise related to software automation testing. So not taking more time, let's talk about a guest here that we have with us. So today we have with us Raman Kansal, and who is nothing short of impressive to say. And let me talk more about him. So Raman is currently a project manager. So he's started his journey with Thoughtworks as a QA 12 years back, 10 years back, around 12 years back in 2020, 2012. So he has put many hats in the organization, being a QA, being an office principal, and giving talks on finance, time management, and whatnot. So, be any topic Raman can discuss at length, and he has interest in playing cricket, talking about current affairs, finance, and any topic that come across him, he can give a detailed talk about it, and with 100% interest, I guarantee that. So now, not taking more time here and passing on to Raman to ask about what I have not covered. So, what exactly does Raman Council comprise of? Over to you, Raman.
Thanks, Pooja, and thanks for having me in the first podcast. Uh, yeah, I think you covered most of the things, but I try to go a little bit of a detail of it. Yeah, my career started in back in 2002, but in ThoughtWorks I joined in 2012 as an AQA. The primary reason was to remain with the technology rather than moving to management. I used to hate managing people. Uh, that's for fast forward right now. That's the only job I'm doing right now. Uh, but yeah, means like IT has always had a passion towards more towards how we can automate everything. That's how I started my journey as an AQA, and that's why I joined ThoughtWorks as well. And then more and more moving towards how to manage projects, how to manage organization, how to manage certain aspects of operations. So yeah, it was a good journey so far. But yeah, I still miss my QA world where uh, always up in the game, always remain close to what client wants, what is going into production, how we are building it rather than uh, only about one aspect of functionality. So that's always fascinated me. So,
So basically, what like okay, we understand that you didn't wanted to manage people. So what got you driving towards the software testing part?
yeah, software testing part. My introduction to software testing happened back in 2004 around. As always, I wanted to start with as a developer because that's how you learn in colleges that okay, you need to build software, etc. But I soon realized after doing the job for a couple of years. At that time, the world was more on Oracle, ASP.NET. So VB was my first language. The Crystal reports and all those sort of things, which is now pretty much outdated. But soon I realized that my interest is going towards more to see that what is not working in software, and but all the cases which are not being built. So that's always fascinated. I got fascinated towards that. So I thought of then started my journey as a QA. So I got that opportunity. However, that time the world was very much manual testing, and there is a different team for automation testing. But I would feel like QA is always a QA. It's just a mindset that how you look towards a software. Because coding, yes, we can do while you do automation, but then the prospect of the overall picture of software. So that's always fascinated me. That's why automation started. Then that it will become boring very soon that okay, same software you're testing for maybe 6 months, 8 months at that time. So automation always remain on top of my likings. So yeah, I started my first automation was in silk test. All those names are again outdated. So Windrunner was the first one, but that's mostly not practical, but the practical one was silk test. Then yeah, number of tools over the period of time. But yeah, QA is always close to my heart in any ways that how software is getting built, what is getting built, and what is getting deployed, and how customer will going to use it. So that's my QA journey so far.
That's really good to hear. So amazing. So what do you feel your full superpower has been? Like you've mentioned so many things out of that. What do you feel is your superpower?
Okay, so not a superpower as such, but yeah, what I'm over the period of liking is that quick understanding. So that's what any software professional, everybody should have, that what exactly the pulse of people who are going to use this software and the client who is building that software. Uh, so that always fascinates me now, that what is the thought process, what is the persona behind these softwares, so that you can then tune the way of execution and implementation. So that's why my current job is all about managing that project from client perspective, from end customer perspective, and the team perspective who are building the software. So yeah, uh, that also helps my QA inclination as well, where ultimately boils down to what is getting built and how it is getting built. So I'll say that grasping that what people want is right now seems to be my superpower.
I think that's a very valuable advice. So because it gives a new perspective. So we get projects, we jump into the work directly, not getting much time to think about it. I guess what you said, gives a lot of perspective to thinking from the client. And thank you so much. We'll keep in mind. I guess that helps everybody who are listening to this podcast.
Hopefully.
Yeah. So moving ahead. So what are some of the common challenges that you faced in testing? And can you give an example based on your project experience? Yes.
Yeah, there are two, three kind of a challenges. One is I talked about that the boredom, that repetition is always the one I find out that people just lose the motivation and remaining with. So that's why the jump from one to another. That I'm looking in the front end only. Why not looking at the back end? And if I'm looking to the back end, then why not the deployment and etc. But end to end picture is very important. So boredom is the one challenge I have seen. Second is that lesser use of technology. Sometimes we become like too comfortable the way we are executing, using Excels, using my understanding of application, my connection a team, relying on that to identify gaps. And also third challenge is that we get just very QAs get very close to implementation side of things, that rather than thinking of what business want, what client wants, what exactly this application is all about, they started getting the too comfortable with the implementation side of things. Okay, this is how it's getting implemented, this is how the database works, this is how this application works, this is how the Flutter works, this is how maybe the UI works or React works, rather than thinking that this can be a technical limitation of the tool or sector, but this is not what we can sell to client like what we want. So we need to find out the ways. So these are some of the challenges I have seen largely, but QAs feel, and in some organization, not in Thoughtworks that much, is that compartments of that. Okay, what is expected from you as an QA? Purely manual, purely automation, purely performance, purely security. So these are the buckets have created over a period of time in the industry. Not nothing wrong, nothing right in that. It's just that it it throws another challenge towards the QA as in a community, that uh, while look you should look into the overall aspect of the uh, application. If you are looking for one aspect, then chances are that there is a lesser handshake, that what application is actually is getting deployed in a production versus what you are perceiving. So these are some of the challenges I see. We have overcome over a period of time some of those, but still they are still there.
So one question out of this, like you said, QA has become too close to the implementation. So like how can one realize and get away from it on time?
So there are no method. I will say that it's just more an inclination. Come out of your comfort zone. Try to understand from whoever is building that, who's more close to client, basically, to either they are business analysts, product owners, or whatever domain expert. Try to get their context as much as possible. Don't get biased towards that, because your 90% interaction will happen with the team leads, tech leads, developers, because that's how you are working. But you should spend time, just analyze that how much I'm reading or talking to these people, going into the functional calls where a lot of requirements are getting discussed purely from the business perspective, not looking into the actual implementation. So this is more of an interest, but I feel like that's a part of a job. If you don't get that kind of an interest, you need to build that interest by understanding that what is your primary job. Your primary job is not to write automation test, or maybe remain as a more and more technical. Your primary job is to make sure that quality products is getting deployed to production, is getting shipped, and is usable to the client end user basically. So there is no fixed formula, but as a QA, that should be your interest area. That's how I pick.
Basically helps in building quick QA mindset.
Correct, correct.
That's all. Thank you, Mr. Ram. So, moving ahead, like what are the some of misconceptions that you've come across in software testing, and how did you address them?
Yeah, means like I over a period of time they have changed. So initially it was like QA is not a uh, it's like important job. It's like developer will build it, we will find a defect in a production, we will fix it in a 1 or 2 days. Over a period of time, people realize that fixing cost in a more and more upper environments, from maybe SITs or UATs to staging environments to production, the cost is increasing every time. And recurrence of defects means you are not able to focus that much on the new feature. You are keep on going back to your older feature and fixing them. So industry has, or the organization has realized that. So that misconception has changed. I have worked with some of the clients who never used to have QA. They never believed in QA. Now they don't start a pod without a QA. So industry has moved on, clients has moved on. However, still I feel there is still some of the value software testing should get in some of the domains. I will not call out those domain names, but in some areas, still the testing been seen as the last mile thing. That okay, they will come in the end only. They will do a quick 2 weeks or 1 week of testing, and that too tremendous under pressure. That okay, go live date is not changing. You need to give a sign off. You need to give a sign off. So these are the some of the things, because quality is, I know everything is time bound, but if you pressurize a lot of things, quality will get a hit very quickly, because there is hardly any yardstick you will manage. That okay, have I tested 100%, have I tested 90%? Even if you miss 10%, what is that you missed? It could be the first scenario in a production. So you can't judge all those things. So these are the misconceptions still going on, that okay, it's a last mile thing, you need not to involve from start. uh, Not too much focus on automation sometime, because automation takes their own time. It, it's time to get stable as well, because there is some sort of a flakiness always there, specifically if you're talking about multi devices, multi size kind of a thing in a mobile sector. So these are the, but industry is learning. So maybe more and more technical enhancement, the kind of a tools we are seeing now, which are more native tools specifically for, I'm talking about the mobile side of things. They are much more faster, lesser flaky, but requires a lot of technical knowledge. So if people will move faster, industry will move faster as well. So I feel the more onus is on QAs themselves, that if they adopt fast, adopt technology which is available, or some research is going on, can we try it, contributing there. So conceptions will break. There are still there, but it's changing over a period of time. More and more technology coming to the picture will definitely change it.
Yeah, I also remember you were saying that okay, over the time, say people then used to consider QA as a team member. So yeah, I've seen that phase. So yeah, I can relate.
Now that changed, but yeah, still some things are there.
Yes. Yeah, it's good. The current environment is still better. Thank you so much. So next we'll ask is like, how do you keep up with the latest trends?
Yeah, it is difficult for me as a personal side of things, because of the other responsibilities, always a challenge. But again, Thoughtworks help a lot. Thoughtworks leadership push a lot. And okay, what's going on, latest like technology? Are you aware? Are you trying to introduce those new technologies in your day to day work? Something like right now, there is a big push going on that using AI uh, more and more in your projects, and whatever the mundane jobs we are doing, or repetitive task we are doing, can AI help in that? So my only ways of learning is mostly correct, mostly is a project side. If we are implementing something new, if we are implementing something out of the box, which a lot of cloud movements now from on-prem to cloud. So that's where the learning comes from the project. uh, Also, there are a lot of conferences, a lot of discussion inside organization and sometimes outside as well. LinkedIn is another source where we talk about a lot of articles and etc. So these are the primary source, and also the sometimes it's just a zeal that okay, this is a task going on which is keep on repeating, that why cannot be automated, that sense, and pushing team that okay, is there solution available. So people learn and that learning pass on to me, kind of thing. So people in a team, they learn, they explain, and we get just a good gist out of it. So this is the way of learning right now.
True, true. Thank you so much for your inputs. Goals a lot. So, let's say somebody starting as a QA in their careers, just budding out as a QA. So, what advice or like what pointers would you like to give to them?
Yeah, I have a very strong feeling about it. I mean, don't get me wrong on this. That I feel like nobody sees that I'm a QA from day one. This is so bad in the industry. Though it took me a year or so in back in 2002, but I feel this is a mindset. Means like it's very quickly, while you are in your college days and etc. and you're doing coding, you're going through the same curriculum as an engineer, but it's a mindset you can very very early understand that what kind of a mindset I have towards a software, how I see a software. So primary thing I feel any QA should judge very quickly that what interests me here. This moment or this dilemma that okay, I want to become a dev, versus there is hardly any difference in terms of a technology or in terms of the skill set to be the technical skill set, to be say so. But it's the purely a mindset. So for any QA, my suggestion is that just look inside and say that okay, what fascinate me towards a software, is it like how it is getting built, or how and what is getting built, both, kind of thing. If how and what is your more interest towards, then you are quite a bit ready for testing. And another element is that, you're keep on repeating yourself. If you are not too much concerned that okay, I am repeating myself again and again, because that's what the required uh, behavior for the software testing is, then you are at a good space. Now, how long you need to repeat yourself, that depends on how quickly you will automate that stuff. So that's, you need to also understand that even if I am repeating it once in a month, or for 2 months, 3 months, how quickly I can automate it so that I'm coming out and then doing something else towards it. So if you have that kind of a mindset, don't not minding that what and how I should cover, don't mind that okay, I need to repeat myself multiple times. And third, even if I am repeating myself, back of the mind, I'm ready that I have to automate it so that I can move to something else and keep on learning. I think that's available, applicable to all IT professional. Just like doctors, you know, keep on reading. This is not end. There is no end to it. Right, in your whole career, you need to keep on reading, keep on understanding what is going on in the industry. Uh, and if you have those kind of virtues and those kind of understanding, I think you can start as a Q.
Because we don't see many, QA related courses in colleges and, study curriculum.
But I don't mind. To be honest, this is I have a strong opinion about that as well. I don't think we should have a stream as a QA as well. I think software engineering, kind of thing, and the technical knowledge we get in the colleges. Maybe we need to advance our courses depending upon the technology. But I don't think we should have as a stream, because I'm saying the college idea is to give you a perspective, the curriculum, that okay, the wider the spectrum is, what is the software industry is, what are the different component, and different ways of dealing with those components. I think that's fine. Now you need to brainstorm internally that why I'm here as a software engineer. Is it a development, is it an analysis, it is maybe testing. That's a mindset, how you want to see a software.
Okay. So, what role, what role does collaboration play between a dev and a QA? So, like in a successful automation strategy.
Very funny, because when I started my career as an AQA, so that was, I have always seen that organization feel there is a big fight between these two. They try to create that kind of a thing. I still remember. Uh, I don't. I will not talk about the organization name here. Just say that there used to be a qualitative and a quantitative measure that how successful you as an QA. So quantitative measures was used to be very interesting. How many defects you logged, against which developer you logged, what kind of a priority and severity. So it feels like it is me versus you kind of thing, QA versus dev. But to be honest, it's nothing like that. It's a very very collaborative ways of working. because the aim of both the parties is to deliver a good software, quality software, usable software. So there is nothing hidden between them that okay, I have implemented it this manner. This could be a potential issue in that. This could be a potential issue in design. This could be a potential issue in the way of using this software. And if somebody finds that, there should not be any hard feeling that okay, this is a lot of defects find out. It's a basically, if QA is not finding defects or PA is not finding issue, how will the dev improve? Because they get a direct feedback immediately, very quickly, kind of thing. So for improvement of their skill set, QAs are definitely required. Similarly, if there is a lesser collaboration from a dev side, lot of defects will lead to the production, which is anyways not good for the any organization, client. So I feel it's a good, healthy collaboration between both sides. There is no versus. I have never felt that. Though some organization or the structure of the organization or the organization wants to do that, the structure of the organization is something different. Uh, but then I've never felt that this is me versus you. It could be one or two developer, they have a mindset that okay, don't log a defect. But ultimately they accept a defect. Whether they want to log it or not log it, that's a separate part of it. So I don't mind that. I've never minded.
So the more harmonious the relationship, the more better the product.
Yeah, harmonious means a progressive one. Both wants to learn from each other kind of thing, because developer will be always ahead in terms of adapting a new technology and then pass on to QA, which is fair because some of the QAs might disagree with me that okay, they also remain ahead and implement some of the tools and technologies or techniques of the software. But then percentage wise, I'll say that developers will remain ahead. So they are learning pass on to QA community that okay, that's how you can use technology more and more for advancement of better ways of testing. And similarly, from the product side of things, a lot of more input goes over there. This is the end picture, and if you are not understanding the end picture, you will not design properly. So it's a handshake. Both will need each other to develop a good software.
So, what are the sum of domains that you worked across in testing, and like any example from that? Like,
Yeah, my most of the career is towards the finance. Either it's trading applications for the capital market, retail banking. However, in between, I've worked in travel domain, healthcare domain, uh, also some bit of a logistics domain, some government projects as well. So overall, decent variety. But yeah, finance is still close to me. Reason I don't know. This happened. I never started my career with a finance domain. It was a publishing domain. But then inclination towards finance domain is always more. And luckily, I got more projects from the finance domain. I never asked for it, but it's just a coincidence. And I always find me more relatable to finance domain related projects.
so like, is it like very easy to transition from one domain to another? Because there are some domains which require very, distinctive set of qualities.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
No, I agree. Yes, it's an effort. QAs needs to take more and more because this moment is not easy. I can say my personal challenge was when I started looking at insurance as a domain. Initially, we thought that it's like a very cakewalk kind of a domain, but there it's a insurance and claim. No, this is very complex domain. So yeah, it requires a decent learning. Uh, the only thing helped me is that if you read a lot about that domain and try to find out the intricacies, what is the business model, how client generates revenue out of it. And if I track that or you understand that quickly that okay, what is their revenue generating or the margin generating model for this particular software, then you can find out that okay, all the factors are required uh, or the different components fit in for that particular domain, you can relate to it. So if you know the end goal, but how customer is going to generate revenue out of it or money out of it, then those components start fitting in well, that okay, ultimately it's reaching towards that. So that helped me a lot. If I know the end goal, how they are generating revenue out of it, then you start to fit those things. But it's tough, it's not easy, and it's endless, because every domain has a lot of complexity inside it. I tell you a funny story. We used to do a testing on a dummy data because we have no clue about, because this was of a big manufacturing unit of big giants heavy equipment machines. We have no clue what component they are talking about, what is their combination of that, which part will have what component, and we used to put as a dummy data as per the logic we have written. And as soon as we used to show that data to them, they said that can't be. This component cannot have this sector, and this sector cannot have these components. And we said that for us, this is a number, right? This component has this number, and say, no, 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 this cannot match, and sector, because they know domain. They say that they cannot fit in, and for us, it's just a maths that okay, 200 should collaborate with 400, and 400 should collaborate with this, and their logic is different on that. So that's a very funny thing. It took us roughly around 3 months, and ultimately we need to look into the production data to understand that what's happening there. But yeah, means like it's a good fun.
So it's been a learning journey, Renee.
Yes, always a learning journey to understand a new domain.
True. If I guess we connected back to the first point you said, like ultimately we have to see client as the end goal and see understand what their requirements are. So that will eventually help you out, deliver good results.
Yes. Although
So true. Thank you. So okay, before we move towards the end, I would like to, ask you, like, let's say technology, so many technologies are there. So for the people who are starting their journey, what would be, you can say, like to focus on? What has been the constant throughout your entire journey? That, okay, this technology, this thing has been throughout, like some aspects, some metrics that you'd like to highlight on.
I have always looked into the software as a three parts to it. There could be a number of parts to it, but largely, and I think 80-90% of software we are building has three components to it. One is UI, the front end where a lot of people interact to it. Then there is a back end where actually the logic is. The third is the mostly deployment side of thing there, or the databases, the clouds, and etc. That come to the picture. So I was always looked into that. Any software engineer, not QA, only, should understand all three elements out of it. You maybe have your expertise in one more than other. That's fine, but the concept should be very clear and understanding that. And then you can see that what are the popular technologies which are getting implemented in the front end, middle level, and then in a the backend perspective in databases and the deployments. That's you can then divide. So every year or every 2 3 years there will be new technology, but then some of the technology has ever lived. Something like Java's and the front ends in the. I know front end there is always a new framework, either Angular, React. In the mobile also there are multiple technologies. Flutter is getting popular right now from the mobile perspective, but people building native as well, iOS and Android. So if you have the three basic concepts are ready, that okay, these are the three major components of any software delivery. Fourth is becoming more and popular right now, which is data. That okay, ultimately you need to build some recommendation, some product data products out of that, so that revenue is keep on coming, which is more future looking, which gives you a direction to your company, your software, that okay, where you should invest. So that's another component now getting added. So if you are aware of those components and then see that what are the best technologies suited, I mean, switching a technology should not be a problem. I myself, I think in these 20 years or so of my career, uh, I think 7 languages, 8 languages, front end, back end, whatever. So if you are clear with those components very clearly, language is just a medium to achieve what is there, and it's mostly a syntax. So yeah, so I will not suggest anything related to any language or so. You can pick up the popular one to start with if you want to start as an QA. But your component should be very clear that okay, these are the 3 4 major components, and I need to understand all three in core.
Okay. So one last thing. So like, have you ever in your career hit a plateau there wherein, because earlier there were not many technology upgradations and much innovations. So have you ever come across a situation that, okay, like I've hit my plateau, how do I grow further? So, or maybe just give your opinion about, like, if somebody feels like there's a plateau now, they don't feel they can grow further. So what they should do?
To be honest, I may not be the right person because I never felt that uh, technology changing or domain changing in every 1 or 2 year is like very normal for me, and that's what happened in my career. But whatever, even in the industry, I've seen people working on the same product, same domain for a longer period of time. I think they can experiment with the technology, at least from the QA space, because this space gives you a lot of maybe say lever. People wants to optimize cost there, faster to production, faster to complete their integration testing and etc. So if even you're feeling that I am getting plateau towards more towards domain, more towards kind of an application I am testing, maybe then you can focus on the technology. That's what I've done for a small period of time when I was part of the purely banking sort of an industry. I spent roughly 5 years of my career purely in a banking kind of industry. I have then put my focus towards more for technology because nobody stops that much. Yeah, there could be a licensing thing, there could be some costing related to that, but if you put your case clearly and people understand that in industry that okay, if it's getting a good ROI, so that's also again I go back to that. If you know your customer, if you know that how can you sell that what they want, I think people will buy it. So I still remember my first experience with a client where I was the first QA place there. They never used to have a QA, and I was able to convince them that this project needs at least more couple of QAs because there was a very lesser automation, and as soon as we go to prod there, you need a framework where you can quickly make some changes without impacting a lot of regression. So they understand the concept. They feel like okay, that should be a part of the development activities from the regular. And since then, that client is now with us from last 10 years. And then I was telling the same thing. No pod starts without a QA there because they understand that if something we need to fix in production, which is kind as a defect or a design change, we should have a safety net, good safety nets, and we can test a lot of permutation combination. So you can experiment. So nutshell, you can experiment with the technology part if you're stagnant on those parts. But if you can change those, then you are challenging yourself in a big deal, if possible.
Okay. So last question before we end it. So how do you see AI impacting quality? Like a little in like what's your perspective?
Yeah, I have a means like solid point of view that okay, technology will help specifically in the QA work, and this AI ML changes what is happening. First of all, they throw a big challenge in front of QA community, then how we are going to test it, and specifically from the cyber security perspective, this is a big field where people should start looking into it. Uh, Understanding people's PI data, their analysis, and etc. Is it throwing some challenge from the society aspect? That's a one part of it. QS needs to think about it. But then there are a lot of things which will get automated with this AI. How we are writing our test? Can it be lot of partnering tools available, coding partnering tools available, co-pilots and etc. How they can help? How can chat GPTs of sort can help us in documenting our test cases, publishing our test strategies, etc. So there are a lot of things can help us in automating faster, which can save us a lot of QA's time to think about the other challenges we are about to face. Industry is moving very fast towards it, which is more on cyber securities, personal data protection, and all those. So technology can play a very huge role. AI is there. We cannot ignore this. How soon we can adopt it? How we can adopt it in our day-to-day practices, so that we our contribution towards software technology in a much more fruitful manner rather than a repetitive manner kind of. So repeated work and the kind of planning we need to do, can AI ML tools can take that, so that pure new areas of new challenges which coming across from the different software can be handled by the QAs itself.
So I think with this we come to the end of questionnaire. And so Raman, how can we reach you? Like if any of our listeners want to reach out to you, what's the best medium or can you provide?
Yeah, you can reach out to me via my email. I'm not a very social media kind of a person. You might not find me on a lot of social media platforms, but email is the one I'm on top of it. There is no unread mail in my inbox. I'm not sure if I should be proud of that or not, because that's keep me busy till I not sleep. So yeah, email is the only one. Maybe you can publish with the podcast.
So I will definitely do that. I hope all our listeners had a great time and much of the questions were answered in this podcast. So please do like, share and subscribe this podcast. We are hoping to come up with future podcasts. So please give us your support. Thank you so much, Raman, for being here.
Thank you, Pooja. Thanks, Abdul.
Thank you.